It's a good week, boys. Welcome in to Trust the Process Live. It was a storybook weekend, gentlemen. It was a storybook weekend, the best weekend that you could have possibly drawn it up as. I really don't even know what else to say because the Phillies, not only do they sweep the Mets out of first place, out of town, and right out of the hearts of people in New York, right out of the hearts of people in Flushing. But boys, they honored. I mean, it was alumni weekend. They honored Manny Trio, bringing him into the Wall of Fame, and then they retired Roy Halladay's number 34 with Steve Carlton, lefty, doing the honors of taking down the banner. Chooch was there. All the boys were there. Raul Ibanez gave a great speech on the field while Chase Utley narrated the video portion. Ooh, I'm
Chills.
ready. I'm feeling good. I'm ready for it.
Chills.
Oh, I'm your host, James Hyde, and I am absolutely pumped up because this is where I shine. When the Phillies are good, this is where I shine.
This is your wheelhouse right here.
Right here. I'm about to take a hanging curveball deep.
For sure.
But I'm here with my guy, the YG, the young gentleman. How are you?
I mean, I'm just as juiced as you are, man. Like, not people underestimate how much of a baseball town Philadelphia is. So when the Phillies are really good like this, the city is absolute buzzing. And if you haven't joined the bandwagon yet, kind of shame on you, but better late than never. But now is the time. Like, this is not a fluke anymore. This is time to actually, start to root for a first place baseball team in going into the third week of August. This isn't a first place team in May, a first place team in June. We are August, September's around the corner, and we're in first place. That means a lot. So it's for real now.
I like what you said right there. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon, doesn't mean I'm not going to make fun of you. Doesn't mean I'm not going to scold you.
I'm not going to say something, but it's
but
Philly,
there's still room.
Of course I'm going to say something, but come on, young boy.
There's still room. There's still room because we had about 38,000 in the bank down this weekend, but we know we can pack that up. Standing room when all that's filled, we got about 40, 45, 46,000. We still got some room.
We can do something.
Jump on that caboose. You saw him. He'll be back in a couple minutes, Mr. 5 digits. Well, 8 digits now because we got an 8 digit win streak going. Mr. 8 digits, Max Coolish. He'll be right back. Oh boy. JJ, we're gonna jump right into this because I'm too excited. I can't wait. Can't wait. You tell me what your expectations are for these now first place Phils because I know there's some people out there that are still skeptical.
Well, here's the thing. For me personally, the expectations haven't changed. I expected this team to contend for a playoff spot when the season began. You can go back and check tape from us in February, March. Me saying that I expect this team to contend for a playoff spot, whether that means win the division or get into the wild card. I expected them to be in a position to play in October come the end of the season. Now, it just so happens that the NL West is so crazy that we don't really have hopes for a wild card. If we want to get into the playoffs, it's pretty much win a division or, try to get the wild card from one of the three of the Padres, Dodgers, out there. And that's just not in the wheelhouse. So, but I do think that the Phillies can and should be a playoff team, should get into October. And all the pieces are falling into, their right spots at the right time. And the biggest part of it, let's not question ourselves, is Bryce Harper getting hot at this time of the year and carrying the offense not pretty much on his back, but pacing the Phillies offense and providing them a whole lot of run support when it matters. So my expectations really haven't changed, man. Like I went into the season expecting a lot of things to look different too. I expect Aaron Nola to be contending for a Cy Young, not Zach Wheeler, but I'll take what I can get. But it absolutely was. This is a playoff team to me. Joe Girardi is our manager. We brought back Didi Gregorius. We signed Bryce Harper. We get the deal done with JT Realmuto. Guys are starting to step up. Like it's this is turn the corner time. This is a playoff team, a win now team. I expected to see that. And I'm glad I'm realizing expectations. Because if we go back years and years and years, the Phillies have fallen under expectations. So I think the bar remained the same. We expect this to be a competitive team. No one's shouting World Series or bust. But we expect with this roster, with this talent, a competitive team. So now they're realizing expectations instead of falling short, of them. That's the biggest thing.
I'm going 91 wins. I'm going 91 wins. I'm setting my personal over-under at 90 and a half. And I'm
pretty
saying
sure
that
wasn't that the show over and under? Didn't and I'm pretty sure you slammed the over then too. I'm pretty sure you
the preseason over-under, I think, was 86 and a half, I want to say.
For us personally.
I don't remember I remember
we had
me.
to jack up that line. I'm pretty sure we jacked it up.
I remember telling whatever the preseason one, I'm pretty sure it was 86 and a half. And I remember telling people to absolutely hammer that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm setting my new over-under, my personal one for the expectations of the team at 90 and a half. Because I'm saying they break it. 91, 92 win team. Because this is when you look at it. And the Braves, let's not discount the Braves. They're on a little bit of a push here too. I'm more afraid of the Braves than I am the Mets. But
with no Acuna.
No, I'm with you. The Braves have an easy schedule, but the Phillies have an even easier schedule. If you go deep into the season, if you look out, I mean, they have homestands against the Orioles, against the Pirates, against the Cubs. Like these are series you
expect to win.
You should expect to take 2 games from, if not sweep the series. So if you get a couple of those in there, you're looking at a 90-win team a lot easier than a lot of people think. You know what I mean? So people are kind of discounting the lack of strength of schedule in the second half. So I'm going 91 win team here. Am I crazy?
I don't think so, because at this point, I think we should expect to win majority of the series that we play, not sweep.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have a 3 or 4 game series, I think we should take 2 games of pretty much any series that we play from here on out. So I think at the end that culminates to 90 wins. And look, the best team in baseball is going to win 100 to 110 games. Right now, the best team in baseball is the Giants, who are at 70 wins and we're at 59. So
which is crazy.
Which is crazy. So if you think realistically, what a team of the Phillies caliber should win, it's about 10 to 15 games back of the MLB lead, puts you at about 90 wins.
Yeah. And if we're being realistic, adding Kyle Gibson at the deadline gives you at least 2 more wins than you would have been expecting without Kyle Gibson. Is that fair?
Yeah. That's
fair. That's pretty close to a 90-win team right there, and that's not even counting Zach Wheeler on a Cy Young pace. That's not even counting Aaron Nola, who should get better when the weather starts getting warmer.
If Aaron Nola gets right, and we finally got Matt Moore out of this, situation, finally got him out of this situation. Like this is a team that can absolutely shake things up in October.
If I never see one of the Three Stooges pitch again, and when I say the Three Stooges, I think everybody knows who I mean, but Chase Anderson, Matt Moore, Vincent Velasquez, if I never see any 3 of the Three Stooges pitch again, it'll be too soon.
Matt Moore taking the mound would make me upset, would make me a little bit upset every time I saw him.
It's ridiculous. So our next question here, and we're waiting for Max to get back here.
I really want to hear his take on that last question.
I know. I'm going to circle back. I want to see if he can buzz
get right for us, man. Get right for us.
I know. 8 games, 8-game win streak. One of the longest ones, and I think it was, they said it on the broadcast. It was all the way back to 2012, I want to say was the last time.
It was like a decade, yeah.
Last time they won 2012. What do you attribute this 8-game win streak to the most?
Bryce Harper.
Ooh.
Bryce Harper. I'm going 80% Bryce Harper, 10 to 15% Zach Wheeler, 5% other, and that's a big 5% for every other person who's contributed to this win streak. But there's a reason why this man is getting MVP chance at the bank now when he comes up to bat, and it's because the $330 million man is playing like the $330 million man. And let's not get it twisted. The Bryce Harper that we've seen for the past 2 years, that's pretty much been, upper but common Bryce Harper of the last.
Let me stop you. Over the last 162 games played, Bryce Harper a full season. So from right now, full season going back, Bryce Harper's slashing what I think it was like 295, OPS of, I want to say, in the mid 400s and slugging over 500.
Right, and that's in the last 162. That's the last year of baseball.
That's a top 5 hitter in the game.
100%, and that's the last year of baseball that's been played of his career. And I'm agreeing with you on that one. I'm saying for the year previous and the one before that, his first year in Philly, everyone was kind of underwhelmed by the Bryce Harper they saw.
Yeah.
And that was the last 5 years of Bryce Harper in Washington. You know, the years after his MVP year. That's pretty much where he was topping out. That's what we were getting.
Would your opinion of him the first year change if the 260 batting average was at like 280 and he had don't change anything else about the
home run numbers were up. People were expecting the home run and the RBI numbers were up. He was still leading the league in doubles. He was still
first season he hit 35 with 114 RBI.
But his MVP season he hit 42. You know what I mean? 42. So that's what people were expecting. And he's not going to hit 42 home runs this year. He's probably going to hit 30. Even with 30 home runs and 100 RBIs.
He might not even get to 100 RBIs, man.
Yeah, but that's what Bryce Harper is. But he is the reason for this. Circling all the way back to the question, he is the reason for this 8-game winning streak. He is, when your best player is playing like that, it paces the rest of the team. And he's doing it. He's filling a void, and say what you want. He's filling a void with Rhys Hoskins being out of the lineup of just timely home runs and timely hits. Rhys does provide that, and Bryce is filling that void. He's absolutely captaining this ship. I gotta give the man all his props.
Rhys Hoskins is still leading the team in home runs.
Yeah, it hasn't played for the last 5 games, and Bryce is homered in 3 of the last 5.
Yeah, I am going to give Bryce like 40%. I'm going to give Wheeler like 15 because he can only start every 5 days.
That's why he only has that much. He'd have more for me if he did this every day, but he can't do it every day.
So what's that? 55%. I'm going to give Joe Girardi like 20% because I think he's done. He hasn't done anything that like has blown me away and been like, that's how you are, like that's how you know you're a great manager.
The Ranger move was okay. That's okay, Joe. Mm-hmm. That's why you're Joe. That's why you're Joe Girardi. The Ranger move was a very timely move. I like that.
So I'm at 75%. You know what? Screw it. The last 25% is going to go to the role players. Okay. I got to do it because guys. Like, I mean, Jankowski's cooled off a bit, but I mean, Luke Williams has come up and played everywhere since McCutcheon's gone down.
Bohm was low key hot, like hitting the last 8 or 9 or something like that.
I consider Bohm a starter. I think people need to chill out on Bohm, but I'm talking about guys like Jankowski, Luke Williams, and the big two. The big two, Brad Miller and Ronald Torreyes.
Brad, can we give one for Bamboo Brad, please? Can we give one for Brad, please?
And the big toe, man. And the big toe, Ronnie Torreyes.
I love both of them. You want to talk about timely hits. You want to talk about Ronnie hits. That's Ronnie Torreyes right there. You want to talk about timely hits.
Like sound defense. Like this dude could I remember when people brought him or when we got him earlier in the season, people were like, oh, dude, like quadruple A player, like he's going to go back and forth between AAA and the big club and be a defensive replacement. This dude's hitting like 280. Not a lot of pop, but like just timely hits and defense where you can put him wherever in the infield.
Big Chooch vibes I get from him. Big Chooch vibes.
Just like the consistent, steady. Yeah.
Pro's pro.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Speaking of Chooch, he like do you also forget that he played for the Dodgers?
Yeah. Because a lot of people when people refer to the Phillies who went to the Dodgers, they say 3 of them. And I'm like, I only remember J-Ron Utley going there. Right. I always forget that Chooch went there too.
I know. Like they said that on the broadcast, and I was like, "What? You know what? No, he retired as a Philly. No."
And they all went at separate years. Like, what was it about the Dodgers?
I know. You never know. I mean, there's a big trend in Philadelphia. Like, I mean, all the Flyers, like the West Coast Flyers, when they all went out to the Kings, Jeff Carter, Mike Richards.
Tired of being in the cold, man. You get tired of being in the cold.
That's good. It's a good career move. You know what I mean? Well, Cole Hamels also went to the Dodgers too.
He did. Atlanta.
Hollywood finally made it to Hollywood.
It was bound to happen.
I know.
He stuck it out in Atlanta for a year.
That's kind of our pie chart for this 8-game win streak. That's again, one more shout out to the role players because they really have stepped up big. Because
I want to give one more. I really hope at some point that Brad Miller can hear this because I really want to give another one for Bamboo Brad.
one more for Bamboo.
The 2 home run game too a couple nights ago. Just like, gotta love me some Brad Miller.
That opposite field, ooh, that looked good.
I love his swing. There's just so much spring in his swing. I can't describe it more than that. Like it looks like he's happy when he swings the bat. Like he swings the bat with so much joy and glee. Like that's why the ball flies off his bat.
He's an intense guy, man.
So happy.
We're not giving enough. People aren't talking enough about how like Rhys Hoskins is still out. Didi doesn't sound great. I mean, it hit the elbow that he's had trouble with. And Kutch. Like Kutch was probably the second or third hottest hitter on the team at the time when he got moved down the lineup before he got hurt. This team is showing some real resilience right now.
Bryce. He was hot right before Bryce was hot.
Yep. So I mean, hey, imagine in 2-3 weeks when you get your full lineup back out there, maybe you have like a 4.5 game lead in the division. You can really start pulling away.
I don't think this is the home stretch yet. Everyone's talking about the home stretch. I don't think this is the home stretch yet. I think we got about a week before it, but that gives time for people to get healthy, and then you make that one final big playoff push. But I don't think you can make it when your lineup is still in flux like this. I need my full deck.
This 8-game win streak is kind of crazy too, because this is kind of the inverse of that 2008 team. And not a lot of people talk about this. Is the 2008 team started off really hot, and then the second half, that's why we got into that whole battle with the Mets, because the Mets got hot and the Phillies kind of fell off. This team, sure, they won like the first 4 or 5 games and had a decent little start.
We always do that though.
Yeah, they fell off hard. This is kind of the trend, and I'm not going to compare it directly to the Nationals when they won the title, but this is the part of the year when you want the team to get hot. I don't care about June, July. If you want to get hot and build up a league, then that's fine, but I don't really buy into it. This is the time when you start to get hot that really matters.
You keep pace in May and June, July. You get hot in August.
Exactly.
100%. Well, it's dog days for everyone else, but you got to get hot. And a push right now means everything. Taking advantage of the Mets without DeGrom, the Braves without Acuna, the Marlins without a direction. Like taking advantage of these teams that are lacking something. Like stuff's got to go your way, but you got to take advantage of it. So
exactly
doing that. It's big.
Let's see. We touched a little bit on it. The hardware squad. The potential hardware we're talking about right now. Zach Wheeler is now the odds-on favorite for NL Cy Young. Bryce Harper has moved into, I believe he opened the day at third in MVP odds, and he might have gotten a second. I haven't checked the books all day. But what are the chances that the Phillies take home an MVP and a Cy Young, or one of both? Who has the better shot?
I definitely, it's way more likely that one of them happens than both. And I think it's right at this point, it's more likely that Zach Wheeler gets the Cy Young over Bryce Harper getting the MVP. I think Bryce Harper would have to turn it up. Like he would have to continue to ascend until the season is done to win his MVP. He couldn't plateau at what he's playing at right now and still get it. Now with the year that, Tatis has had, now with the year that Mookie Betts has had, now with the year that all these players have had. I mean, hell, if DeGrom wasn't hurt, he'd be in the MVP race as well. But Zach Wheeler has done this from start to finish, and I don't see Zach Wheeler slowing down at all. And he has the liberty of resting every 4 days and then just giving his best once a week and then, being able to shut it down. Like Bryce Harper has to play like this for, the next 3 weeks of the, until the season is over. I just think it's more likely that Zach Wheeler gets his than Bryce has. And it's not to say that Bryce doesn't have a great shot. And it's not to say I'm not rooting for him or not, pulling for it to happen. But you got to admit it's a little bit of a long shot.
I want to disagree, but I can't.
You know what I mean?
I really want to, because if we take a look at the MVP race, Tatis is probably in the same boat as DeGrom in terms of like missing too many games to really
Right, and
be.
he's still hurt right now too. Every
And,
game he
and
misses, it hurts
the
him.
prognosis isn't great on that
Right.
shoulder.
Mhm.
That's his power shoulder. That's his throwing shoulder. Beyond that, I mean, sheesh. I mean, you got Max Muncy of the Dodgers. Juan Soto had a fantastic month after that home run derby. Apparently fixed his swing, but it's just like,
Tatis going down did blow the doors wide open in the race. Like
yeah.
it did put it
And to
back
me,
for
it's like,
grabs.
and the MVP in sports, I think, is like so broken. Just the concept of it, because it never really truly is the most valuable player.
Right.
Only once every like 5 years does it really end up like the perfect storm of like the most valuable player also has like the team success and they get recognized.
Cody Bellinger might have been a proper MVP.
That's yeah. That was kind of like the last like
Yeah.
perfect storm of all things kind of
Right.
amalgamating.
Right,
But this
right.
one is kind of like you can't really vote Juan Soto as the MVP just
Mm-mm.
based on the Nats.
They're so bad.
Muncy doesn't have the name recognition, and the Dodgers are about to lose a division to the Giants. Like that in its own right is going to shock enough baseball writers to be like, nah, we can't really do that, right?
Right,
Can
right,
we?
right. How are you the MVP and you lost it to, the Giants? You
Right.
lost it to
Yeah, because nobody really still believes in the Giants. But like, people are rating like
I'm so surprised the Giants haven't fallen yet.
people are like they're still definitely the number one team in the power rankings, but people are still like, oh, they like it. And I'll put it this way: if they start losing, people aren't going to be surprised and they're going to flip really easily.
I'm not even really on the I know their manager. I'm not even really on the bandwagon all that crazy. I know their manager. I got to see something first.
They're giving a valiant effort out there in the Bay.
I know their manager. I'm in for both. Wheeler for Cy Young,
Yeah.
Harper for MVP. But I mean, you're talking about the same way. How do we get both? Like, say we don't win the division.
Oh, you're right.
Can't we? I don't even think we get either if we don't win the division.
Well, I would say Wheeler stands a better chance if we don't win the division.
100%. He's still in the race if we don't win the division. Harper drops out automatically. But if we win the division, I'll put it that way. If we win the division, I can see us getting both.
Because like when you're looking at the Cy Young race, it's really only, I mean, Walker Buehler out in LA is Zach Wheeler's best competition. They're tier 1. Tier 2 is probably Kevin Gausman and Brandon Woodruff out in Milwaukee. But like guys like Freddie Peralta and Corbin Burns, they're a good like 40, 50 innings behind Zach Wheeler. And that's just, you can't make that up. Like,
yeah, I mean, leading the league in innings pitched and strikeouts, it's just equals dominance. I'm going longer and having more success than anybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bueller's like 11-2 or something like that. I think
it's crazy.
It's like,
but the record for a pitcher, like I don't that doesn't hold as much weight to me.
I agree.
DeGrom would have a sub-2 ERA and win like 6 games a year.
That Mets team just cannot score.
The only reason DeGrom hasn't won an MVP yet is because the Mets can't score. Imagine if DeGrom won every game he left.
That he would win like 23 games a year.
You know what I mean? And have like a sub-2 ERA.
Easy. That's wild to think about. Yeah, I do. So, all right, if we don't win the division, would Zach Wheeler definitely had the best shot? If we get the perfect storm, we could be seeing an NL East pennant and 2 pieces of hardware. Ooh.
Yeah, you couldn't tell me anything.
Wow.
You couldn't tell me anything at that point.
I'd be walking around with I would purposely go other cities with my chest puffed out. You know what I mean? Like I would go other places to have my chest puffed out.
And here's the thing. We may already owe him one. And it's not a big apology. There's some people in Philly that owe Bryce Harper like a my bad, bro.
Yeah.
Jumping on him I would say jumping off the bandwagon way too quick. It's not like a big one, but it's like, my fault.
Yeah.
Like no patience.
Yeah.
No, like, hey, man, he's going to get it right. He's Bryce. Like, let him get adapted.
Yeah, like a little tip of the cap. You know what I mean?
Like a little my fault. My fault. Yeah. You earned it. Coming for his money. Like that's what it is. It was coming for the money.
And like those people don't even look at the numbers because his contract is right
So
now a
compared to
steal.
now, it's normal now. And
It's
annually, he did the Phillies right by how long he stretched it out. That's why you give it that many years. Stretch it out.
oh boy. Let's see. We got a birds question here. Josh did his thing here. He had to sneak one in.
Of course he did.
He had to sneak one in. We got a birds question, and I don't know if you've been paying attention to all the reports. It looked a little shaky, baby, at that open practice. Looked a little shaky, baby. Jalen Hurts did not look fantastic. The wide receiver core, the wide receiver core is young, and when I say young, I don't mean bad. I mean young in terms of they all need to have their career like that moment where you're in your job and you just go like it clicks for you and you're like, oh, okay, you know what? All right, I got that.
I got this. Right, I got this.
So it's all like from all the reports, there weren't many like down the field throws. There wasn't many like work going across the middle. So it was like a very you can't really glean anything because it's like I really don't understand why there's not much work in the middle of the field. Like, wouldn't you think if I'm Jalen Hurts, I want to be hitting a lot of slant routes. I want to be hitting a lot of ins, like quick ins, seam routes, like those ones that you can count on.
I guess, but are they trying to dumb down the offense? Not dumb down, simple down the offense for him.
But like, wouldn't that be simplifying? Because if I'm telling my second year guy who played four games to just throw a bunch of out routes, like that's a recipe for pick six.
Or is it? I mean, you don't have receivers working with a whole lot of muscle. Maybe open the field up and let Dallas Goedert work the middle of the field, but your weapons are outside weapons. Your receivers are outside receivers.
I mean, Goddard can't even pass a conditioning test.
Yeah, so you don't have middle of the field receivers. You have 5'10", 140-pound receivers.
So with that being said, what position are you keyed in on the most?
Yo, you know what? It's funny, and I say this half joking but half serious. The quarterback position, because apparently it's still a competition because Nick Sirianni has yet to just name Jalen Hurts the starter. And I am all for humbling Jalen Hurts or painting the picture or giving the lesson that he still has to earn this job.
And that's what I was going to say. I don't know if it's a competition. It's more of an audition.
Yes. And I think you bringing in Joe Flacco said that in itself. What understood doesn't have to be explained. So when you bring Joe Flacco in, we didn't bring just anybody in. We brought a quarterback who's got, say what you want, championship experience to his belt. We won't be afraid to go to him. But it's okay to at some point tell Jalen Hurts, like, this is your team. You are the starter. You're kind of playing with him. You're kind of playing with Eagles fans' intelligence right now. And we know that gets very dangerous. Like, don't give him all the first team reps. Don't put him in the spotlight. I haven't seen not one Joe Flacco interview in this preseason. Have you?
Right? No, I haven't heard a word from him.
Okay, then. So don't put him in the spotlight, but still say, oh, but it's still not 100% your team yet. But yes, it is. So that's why I'm watching the reality show, the romantic comedy rom-com drama that is the quarterback position from the Eagles. Because I don't know what Nick Sirianni is doing, but at this point, just name the young man the starter so he can get that out of his mind and just go to play football.
Yeah, and he says he's above it all, but like
no one's above. No, that's got to be back here,
right? And that's good. That's like I commend the dude for saying what he needs to say in front of the press. He is a professional player. He's handling it well, but like he's an early 20-year-old man. Like that's got to be weighing on him. I don't want to say. I'm not going to say wide receiver. Because like to me, if you're still like the thinking that you're still going to count on Greg Ward as a top 3 wide receiver, just automatically means that your position group is not strong. So I'm less concerned about the wide receiver grouping. What I'm going to be watching is the cornerback group because everybody wants to crown Steven Nelson.
I don't know why.
Like the cornerback too. Oh, the issue's solved. We can kick Maddox into slot, which I think you should. I don't think he should ever play an outside snap again. but like Steven Nelson's really going to come in here and lock down the other side of the field opposite Darius Slay? Are we sure? Are you going to like, are we going to be right here? Are we locking eyes and telling me that like
I
we're
didn't know
good?
Stevie Nelson was this household name until he came to. I knew he was, but I didn't know it was his household name until he came to Philly. And it's one of those mirages that Eagles fans have where they try to convince themselves of something. Just because you brought in a corner doesn't mean he's the next one. I don't know where this really came from.
Yeah, and I'm going to be, because Steven Nelson is right now penciled in as your number 2, and this kid out of, I want to say, was it TCU? Was Zach McPherson TCU? He's out of a school in Texas.
Zach McPherson, right? And I thought he was going to play safety, but he's dropping down the corner now.
They have him lining up a corner, and like he's playing well, but like he's lining up against one. I just explained a position group that is still counting Greg Ward as a top 3 receiver, so he's not lining up against the. I mean, he's not lining up against Terry McLaurin yet. He's not lining up against Cooper. He's not lining up against Calvin Ridley, like Kyle Pitts. So, do I trust it? No, I don't. Do I think he could be something? Yeah. I mean, if you look at the numbers, this kid was extremely underrated coming out of college. So I'll be watching it. I'm intrigued. I think Maddox is going to be a good nickel corner. I think if Steven Nelson goes down, I think you're right back to where you started.
Mm-hmm. Steven Nelson slander or jokes aside, I kind of do think the Eagles secondary, well, as a whole, so safeties included, I do think their secondary is one of the better ones in the division. So of the worries of their team, like I don't think it's sewed up by any means, but of the worries of their team, I don't think it's high worry. I do think it's one of the position groups that will perform amongst the best.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at it, it's better than the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's probably it's not as good as the Giants.
Who's in the Giants secondary you like?
James Bradbury.
That's it.
Yeah, we as a whole though, he anchors that. Would you think Washington football team secondary is better?
I would say so.
You have Fuller and who else?
Well, I mean, yeah, let's not act like Darby didn't have like a career resurgence when he went to Washington.
He did. He's a better number 2 corner than Steven Nelson. I'll put it that way.
Oh Lord, the irony right there. So I mean, it's a firm number 2, and you could talk me into.
I could talk you into a questionable number 2 with the Giants. We don't have time for that conversation, but
yeah, that's a sloppy conversation.
That's neither here nor there, to be honest. But it's one of the better ones in the division. So
yeah,
I give it to him.
We'll see how the rest of this week comes out. Who are they splitting practices with? I want to say. As we got Corey Jackson.
I know, yeah, Corey coming in hot.
Yeah, we got Corey here. As a whole,
Corey, I expect this from an Eagles fan. That's on par. You should say that. You should say that, of course. Of course.
Overall secondary. I mean,
we're not talking about the cream of the crop secondaries here. We're talking about the NFC East secondaries, which is not,
Corey might have me there. Corey might be right there when I say that.
Let Corey talk you into that.
He might be right because, Xavier Woods was the only good safety on the Cowboys. He's gone. Landon Collins has fallen off hard.
Landon Collins had a good year.
I mean, Corey might have me here. I don't know. I still think Washington might be number 1. I think the Eagles could be a firm number 2 because I just don't believe in the Giants team as a whole. I think. Real quick, just one word answer. Danny Dimes, is he the answer?
No.
Agreed.
But the Cowboys might be able to assemble a team around him. He might be able to not lose you games. He might be able to Trent Dilfer his way into some success. 100%.
You think the Giants could Trent Dilfer Danny Dimes?
Maybe not the Giants specifically, but a franchise could Trent Dilfer Danny Dimes. You could Brad Johnson him for sure.
Brad Johnson might be a better.
He's a better one.
We're getting off topic. I don't want to talk about the stinking Giants. Would you? All right. So you said the quarterback, and I said cornerback. Interesting. All right. I want to find out who they're actually splitting practices with. I'm going to look that up.
Is it not the Steelers? Do you not split practices with the team you're about to play in preseason?
Would it be the first? No, you're right. It would be. I guess it would be the Steelers.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's gonna be a good one. I want to see Ben after this whole diet thing, man. I want to see Ben walk out.
He's not even putting the pads on. So he's gonna look out a brand new Ben.
Wow. The clipboard with all that veganness and goodness and interesting.
Man.
All right.
Shaved beard and all that.
Before we get to our last couple topics, we got to tell you about our friends from PHL Sports Nation. What we got going on is next week we are going to have our boy Prime from PHL Sports Nation. He's going to get on with us, Luciano Concepcion Jr. He's going to get on with us next week, and we're going to do a heavy Eagles episode, all right? So our guys over at PHL Sports Nation, check them out. They do a great job at covering all your Philadelphia sports, whether it be social media, blogs, anything in between. Check them out, phlsportsnation.com, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. Giving us some great guests, and I expect our guy Prime to deliver it next week as well. Corey is all about these secondaries, man. Slay, Nelson, McLeod, Harris, Maddox, that rookie that plays lights out. Come on, man. So that rookie, I think he's talking about Zach McPherson. And it's pronounced Zach, but he spells it Zech. I dig that. More power to you, Zach. McLeod, talk to me when he can stay healthy. Harris, coming from somebody who watched Harris.
I was about to say you have firsthand experience of not liking.
I don't know if you want to talk to me about Anthony Harris's one good season, the rest mediocre. Maddox, I do like Avante. I think he's going to be a very good nickel corner.
The jury's out to me on Steve Nelson.
Yeah, we'll come back to Steven Nelson. I mean, Slay, you know what you're going to get.
And Rodney McLeod is a serviceable safety.
I like Rodney. I love Rodney.
But he's not lights out by any means, but he's very serviceable, does his job.
I need him to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I need him to stay healthy.
You need everyone in that secondary. Who in that secondary stays healthy? Darius Slay's the only one who stays healthy.
Yeah, it's like, and again, we'll come back to Nelson. We'll come back to McLeod if he can stay healthy. Corey, you may very well be right, but I'm going off of evidence.
You got some ways to convince me.
I have been
planted, though.
I have been evidenced to the contrary, Corey. Okay? I have been evidenced. That's not a real phrase, but we're gonna keep saying that.
I'm gonna coin it.
We're gonna get into our second half here, and we got to get back to the Phils a little bit. We got to get back to these Phils. How long does it last?
The good times last longer than the win streak. Let's be honest. They might get 2 or 3 more games, but they're gonna lose.
If that statement's true, I'm fine with it.
Fine. You're not going to win every game. But the point is, from here on out, is to win series.
Yes.
I want to win majority, if not all. There's 3 weeks left in the season. I want to win majority, if not all, of the series I play from here on out. We say we got what? I'm guessing 8 to 10 more series to play.
Mm-hmm. We got what? So 59 and 53. I mean, roughly 50 more games.
So 10, roughly 10, 11, 12 more series.
Yeah, 10, 11 series.
I want to win all of those. I want to win most, if not all of those series. Take 2 in all of those series. That's what I'm expecting. So the good times last longer than the win streak. But
I'm going to go. Oh, boy. I'm going to say 11 games.
Right.
I'm going to say 11-game win streak.
Right. Double-digit win streak.
That means a sweep of the Dodgers. I'll
tell
you what.
That's a measuring stick series for sure.
I'll tell you what.
West for it, they're coming here.
They're coming here.
Yeah, then I need a win. Then I need to win that series if they're coming here.
If the Phillies can end up going into Friday having just swept a series with the Dodgers, and there is a person in the Delaware Valley that is not all aboard for Red October,
they're a hater.
You got to see me outside.
Red October, I like that.
It's on site. It's on site if you're not in.
I like that. Red October.
I need it. If we go and radio broadcast. Larry Anderson. If the team gets over, if the win streak hits 10, he's dancing with the Fanatic. I need me some LA with the moves.
I need it.
11 wins. 11 wins for this win streak. That's what I want. I foresee it. It has been foretold by the baseball gods. If we, hey, Corey, here we go. Corey's with us today.
Corey's dropping
If we sweep the Dodgers, we will win at least 16 straight. Corey, you are my new favorite person. I love that. 16 straight wins.
We double it? Double trouble?
16.
I'm with that.
Corey.
See, when it comes to the Phillies, I'm with the optimistic side. The delusional optimism, I'm with that on the Phillies. Let's do it.
Oh, I mean, if we're doing 16 straight, Wheeler's got to, I mean, that hardware's ours, right? I mean.
Oh, yeah, that means he would have won 2 more starts.
At least.
3.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Corey, I'm loving this.
And this means Bryce Harper probably get the MVP locked up. We don't win 16 straight without him continuing this play. So, 100%.
I'm with that.
Full circle.
How many wins did you say?
I said 11 or 12. I said win 3 or 4.
Okay, we're on the same page. Same page, yeah. All right, I love that. Last question. We talked about this. You wanted to talk about this a little bit before pre-show. We had an interesting discussion backstage, and I want to. It's interesting. It really is. And Max, who is having a little bit of technical difficulties, he had a different reaction than JJ and I. And we got to talking about preseason football and watching the Phillies over that. And it kind of spawned into something where we're getting into the late stages of the baseball season. And then you're conflicting with like weeks 3 and 4 of the NFL season. Talk to me about your feelings about that.
To me, in this situation, it's a no-brainer. Would I rather see my favorite baseball team who hasn't been to the playoffs in a decade go to the playoffs as the hottest team in the league? Or would I rather watch week 3, week 4 of the NFL season when my team is the defending Super Bowl champions? Like what? Weeks 3 and 4 do not hold as much weight as playoff baseball to me. And you put it perfectly in our little backstage discussion. So I'll give you props for this formula. It gets my attention 6 of the 7 days of the week. If it happens, they do play on Sunday, I'll gladly sacrifice whatever Sunday night game it is. If the Bucks don't play, I'll gladly sacrifice the one Sunday night game to watch my baseball team in the playoffs. 100%. 100%. And anything after that is a given because anything after that is more meaningful playoffs. Hell, man, the playoffs in baseball could bleed it to week 6, week 7 of the NFL season.
Let me stop you right there.
If the Phillies are still playing.
Would you completely not watch a game if you had tickets to a postseason game?
Completely not watch
a football game?
Yeah, what?
All right, good. I know some people who would look at me crazy for that question.
And it's the timing.
Right.
A week 6 NFL game or the NLCS?
No brainer.
What?
And the thing is, I know some people who would look at us crazy for this viewpoint.
They're nuts. They're nuts. They're just not into baseball.
I played with them growing up. They'll come back at you. We only get 16 games a season, man. 16 weeks.
Look. Now, if we were some spoiled franchise, and I don't know what major sports franchise would choose any regular season game over any playoff game. Like that's just to me, that right there that just tips the scales. Playoff anything over regular season anything. But if we were some spoiled baseball franchise that goes to the playoffs every single year, then maybe. But this is a decade in the making, people.
Yeah, I can't even, I'm running through franchises in my head. Like, if the Mariners made it, you can guarantee the Kingdome would be sold out. Just the Seahawks are the only.
What sport would say, no, I'd rather see a regular season game of another sport instead of a playoff game of this sport?
I don't know, man. Nobody goes to Rays games.
In a playoff game?
I don't know,
A
man.
playoff game. Like even the LA Rams home stadium would be packed on a playoff game, and they can't get fans out for anything. It's a playoff game.
Yeah.
No one takes the playoffs for granted like that. No one.
At least they shouldn't. Oh man. Let's see.
Corey,
What else
I'm
we got?
surprised we didn't get a comment for Corey on of all the things not to comment on, Corey.
No, I know. Like seriously.
I need Corey's opinion on this now.
No, I'm glad we're lockstep with that one because it's like, and even let's play that scenario out. We have our teams play Sunday Night Football, and it's the what would that be like the divisional series NLDS.
Okay, so
I got a laptop.
week 6, week 5, week 6.
If I don't got tickets, I got a laptop. I can watch two things at the same time.
I watch both, and if I can't, I'll look, man. I'll catch the highlights of the Sunday night game in the morning. Like I'll keep up with the alerts on my phone. That's fine.
Bryce Harper in Citizens Bank Park
in October
in the playoffs. Was Zach Wheeler on the bump?
I'm cool, man.
Are you crazy?
I'm cool. The Bucks probably will sleepwalk through the first 6, 7, 8 weeks anyway.
Jesus.
Knowing them. Come on, man. It's a no-brainer to me.
I see something in here.
I haven't seen playoff baseball in 10 years.
It's been a drag of 10 years.
And it's hurt. Yeah, it's been a humdrum, hurtful 10 years. Like I'm so ready. I
see something in here about Summer League, man. And Josh really did his thing with the script today, saying we're going to stick to all Phillies and throwing these in there for us.
He don't even care about Summer League.
So you don't care about Summer League?
No, I don't care about Summer League.
I don't know, man. I kind of like hearing about b-ball.
Okay, here's the thing. Let me not, because I don't want to give the wrong impression of myself. As a fanatic of the game of basketball and development of players, I love Summer League from that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But am I invested in my team's success in Summer League and my players? No.
And I think that's wins and losses in Summer League. You need a hobby.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that's what the question. If I know Josh, that's what this question is really asking. Like, are you invested in the outcomes and the results of Summer League? No. I love seeing the new draft picks play. I love seeing guys I've been following since high school. Like, oh, they can actually get buckets in the league. Like Jalen Green had a great debut. Oh, he can actually get buckets in the league. I've seen him since he was a sophomore in high school. Like stuff like that, I love.
Yeah.
Am I tracking who wins? Like the Suns played the other day. I'm like, yeah, I saw some highlights. Do I know if they won? No.
Dude, basketball offseason feels like you go to the championship ends on one Monday, and the next Tuesday you're looking up and it's like the draft and stuff starting again.
This offseason for sure, because everything's pushed back a month.
Is ridiculous, bro. Like I said, if you're caring about wins and losses of your summer league team, bro, like maybe pick up like knitting or something, because you got too much time on your hands.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'll check out like the highlights and the box scores and everything, because like, don't get me wrong, I love seeing my man like B-ball Paul Reed like get it out the mud and go yam on some people and stuff like that. But I'm not going to be tuning in to summer league games.
And here's what I'll say to Sixers fans: y'all shouldn't be invested in summer league, because it should be a right now thing. Investing in summer league is I want to see the Rockets are invested in summer league, the Cavs are invested in summer league. The Magic are invested. Yeah, the Pistons. Those teams are invested in summer league. The Sixers shouldn't be invested.
Nah.
I peek my head in. Tyrese Maxey got 16. Okay, that's on you. Okay, cool. What Jaden Springer got? That's my draft pick. He got 11. All right,
I'll be back.
I'll be back. That's what your attention to summer league should be. Should be because it's a right now thing.
Yeah, you're in a winning mode at the big league club. You shouldn't care about summer league. You should care about the player development. But in all honesty, you don't need
worried about the player development.
You don't need to tune in to see you watching summer league has no bearing on their development. So if you want to say I'm concerned about the development, but wait until week 1 to see what actually happened or preseason or anything like that, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. See how he actually. I put it this way. I'm way more for those purposes. I'm way more worried about preseason basketball than I am summer league basketball.
Agreed. All right, which one are you which one are you interested in less? Spring training baseball or summer league basketball?
Summer league bet.
You
Really not
paused.
invested in either. No, probably spring training baseball. I'm sorry.
You are a
I
fool.
know you love spring training baseball. You'd probably catch me watching a summer league game before I watch a spring training game.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Not by a landslide, but yeah.
That is shocking to me.
Really?
That's shocking to me.
Really?
Because spring training at least has like a half full squad of starters.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but then they spread them between like 3 different teams and a bunch of different
That means I have 2 different games to watch at one time.
I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah, because baseball, it takes so long for you to see your draft picks. Like you draft someone, I'm not even seeing them in the spring training game that I'm
Yeah, but you
watching.
get to watch Bryce Harper for 4 innings.
Four innings.
I'd rather watch 4 innings of Bryce Harper than a team led by Tyrese Maxey, and that's it.
Tyrese Maxey and Paul Reed.
I love me some Reese, but like, really? And hey, Shooting Joe, Isaiah Joe. Let's not. I'm not capping about
He had
him.
a good game too. He had a good game too.
He did, but like for real?
I don't know.
You
That's
paused too.
I did pause, and I switched.
I heard you pause. You almost said it,
and I switched.
Flipped.
Right, I did. I backtracked, and I really couldn't
Wow.
explain. I couldn't give you like a thorough explanation as to why. I think it's just off the strength. I think I'm just watching a summer league game over a spring training game.
You really just don't like spring training baseball.
I'm just not into it.
Bro,
and I love baseball. And you know I love
bar out in left field, man.
And you know I love baseball.
I know.
You know I love baseball, but I'm probably watching the summer league game. Because I'm just thinking, like, I had opportunity to do both. I watched one spring training game, and I told you the day I watched it. I watched one spring training game. I'll probably watch more than one summer league game.
See, I'm the complete opposite. I'll watch every spring training game I can get my hands on. I don't think I'll make it a point to watch one summer league game. You dominated
that niche market of spring training baseball fanatics.
I'll take that.
Absolutely cornered that.
I'll take that every day. I'll corner that market every day. If that means that Tom McCarthy will say my name on the broadcast one day, I'll take
T-Mac, I need a shout out because
give me some T-Mac right there.
Reverend James Hyden is probably the only spring training baseball fanatic.
Or Murph. Give me some Murph. You know what I mean?
Nobody. Crucky give you one. J-Roll's in the booth a lot now. J-Roll's in the booth a lot now.
Oh, man. Crux my man, dude. There was a picture on the broadcast where they brought the Phillies alumni in. It was going from left to right, I think, or right to left. I think it was T-Mac. I want to say Boa was in there, Rich Doobie, J-Roll, and then Kruk. Everybody had food in front of them. Nobody's eating except for Kruk.
Of course.
Like
Kruk will eat on the broadcast. They bring the food in, and as soon as it hits in front of him, Crucky starts eating, and he will talk on the broadcast with food in his mouth. I love it.
He saw 4 other mouths that needed to talk on one point, and he goes, I got time.
Got it. Yeah. Put the cough button on and just go to town.
My man. Boy.
Phillies,
man. Mm-hmm. I'm in. We're all in. If you're not all in,
chips to the center of the table.
You don't know how to bet.
Chips to the center of the table.
We're going to tap it out real quick before we get out of here. And I got to say, I'll tell this to anybody. I only cry for 2 things. 2 things in this world.
You're going to take my tap out. I knew you were going to take my tap out. I'm going to say that. I was going to say the same thing. So whatever you're about to say, I'll echo it because I know exactly where you're going.
I cry for 2 things.
Yeah.
Weddings and emotional moments in sports. Now,
what Zach really did. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Now, compelling moments in sports are already like you get emotional, like, oh man, like this is deep, man. Like, when you're sitting there and you just sit back and like you don't hear anybody that's talking beside you, like you're locked in on the story and like you don't come out until the story's over.
Mm-hmm.
It gets that much more emotional when you see somebody who is held in high esteem in that game as well also get emotional. And the post-game press conference where Joe Girardi got choked up, got teared up, and started talking about how it was like Roy was with Zach Wheeler on that start. That had me sit back and was like, oh man, that had me. And I don't know, most people don't know this. Roy Halladay actually died on my birthday
Wow.
a couple of years ago. So it was I woke up on my birthday to the alert that Roy Halladay had passed away in a small plane crash, and hearing Joe Girardi, who is his World Series winning manager, called Roy Halladay the best pitcher, one of the best pitchers he's ever seen pitch, and to see him get emotional made me even more emotional. It pulled it out of me. So just overall statement on the Phillies. The Phillies always do a first-class job of honoring their past.
They really do. They really do.
This was...
They really do.
Everybody who spoke had nothing but positive things to say about the organization, and this was just... I said at the open of the show, you couldn't have scripted a better weekend. You really couldn't. So...
Hey, man, I got not too much to add on top of that, but... It was a storybook. That's the way you put it, and that was perfect. A storybook weekend for the Phillies. And what I saw Zach Wheeler do yesterday was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen done in sports. It was the absolute perfect way to honor a legend. And he had the one of the rare opportunities that not everyone had to do it in sports, where you get to honor like a fellow brother in that fraternity, in that position, you know, like it was a pitcher to pitcher kind of bond. Zach Wheeler's, I don't know if he's ever shaken Roy Halladay's hand. I don't know if he's ever actually met Roy Halladay. And chances are Zach Wheeler hasn't had too many encounters with Roy Halladay. And even without that, he probably still felt all of Roy Halladay's presence on that mound in the stadium. And to say that Roy Halladay was with Zach Wheeler is not any understatement. It's not any hyperbole. It's no exaggeration. And nothing of that sort. Like, he was absolutely with him. And to put that kind of, performance together is incredible. And, a lot of people talk about what it takes to be a Philadelphia, an athlete in Philadelphia, or succeed as an athlete in Philadelphia. And it's do things like that. And I'm not just talking about the dominant performance, because it's easy for me to sit here and say, go out and pitch a stellar performance. But when you know that our heart is on the line with something, that we're really into something, it's connect with us like that. The great Philadelphia athletes have connected with us when we needed them to. And Zach Wheeler connected with us yesterday for the sense of Roy Halladay, and then went out and gave us one of the most important starts we've seen, not only this year, but in the last couple of years, of any Phillies pitcher. So that's what made that day so special. It put Zach Wheeler in the hearts of a lot of Phillies fans, probably forever.
Yeah.
There are a lot of kids at that game that will never forget what Zach Wheeler did yesterday, and the performance that he put together. But all in all, like all encompassing, it was one of the most special things I've ever seen. And in baseball, it's cool because you get to see it play out for 9 innings. And he pitched a complete game, so you get to see the entire thing slowly unfold in front of you. You get to see the story chapter by chapter told to you. And it was just, it's special, man. From the first strikeout to the 11th. It was special. That's all.
No doubt. That was beautifully put. Going off that real quick, has Zach Wheeler worked his way into the conversation of one of the best Phillies free agent signings of all time?
Underrated, because when you think of, the biggest ones, Bryce Harper's going to be in there too. It's like the splash landing. Did this work out? Zach Wheeler was coming in as a number 2 pitcher, and in the time we needed him most, has become the best pitcher in our rotation. So,
yeah.
I'll put it this way. Give me a wild card scenario, a winner get in. It's Zach Wheeler on the mound.
Easy. I'll take him up against anybody right now.
That's Zach Wheeler to get us in. Nola could start game 1 in a 3-game series. It's fine.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, the Phillies start a series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, followed by a series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. But this week, I grabbed a pair of tickets myself for tomorrow. You can buy $8 tickets this week to a Phillies game versus the Dodgers. You got Aaron Nola on the bump tomorrow. Guys, we had a great weekend down there at the bank. I know it's during the week. I know it's going to be tough. We had about 38,000 down there.
You want to see 40K.
The bank can hold more.
You
The bank can hold more.
You want to see 40.
The bank can hold more. If we could crack 40,000 fans, that's electric right there. So all I'm saying is they got $8 tickets still for sale. Get down there, see those Phils. Jump on the bandwagon. It's not too late. We got room. We'll make room even if we run out, okay?
We got room.
We will make room. That's going to be it for us here on Trust the Process Live. If you didn't join us live, you can find us wherever you find your podcast. Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere in between. Trust the Process Live, TTPL Philly. You know where to find us. We'll be back next week. As always, we are brought to you by My New Philly, where something's always new and everything's always Philly.
Yes, sir. Go Philly.
Go Phils, baby. Go Phils.